greens. Every night I eat a salad too. Okay, I think we're ready to go. So welcome to Monday night class. It's so nice to have you all here. Today's theme for our class is really listening to ourselves. So we briefly chatted about it this morning or earlier. And I've just been feeling this need to kind of tune into the sensations that the body is communicating to us. So for me right now, I'm dealing with the shoulder pain and the wrist pain. And, you know, the body will tell us when it needs to slow down or to stop. So we're just going to use the breath today to slow it all down and to just kind of practice that awareness of how it's feeling inside. So I think it sounds better now, yeah? Okay, yeah. Okay. So let's start our practice. Why don't we start in our child's pose today? So toes together, knees nice and wide. And then feel free to release the forehead, tuck the chin. If it feels comfortable, start to walk the fingertips out in front, or if you'd prefer to wrap the arms around the sides. Start to take a few deep breaths. Big inhales, big exhales. Just releasing the day, letting go of any stress, any worry, both in the physical body and in the mind. We continue to draw the breath in through the nose. Begin releasing that breath through the mouth. Good, and as we rest here, we'll start to just gently wake up the wrists, the palms, and begin to glue the fingertips onto floor, as if we have two long bridges on either sides of the neck, the ears. Keep releasing the heaviness of the head, and think about reaching the heart center towards the floor. Good. Keep moving that belly breath. Inhale, fill, exhale, release. And as we press the palms, we'll slowly walk our way over to the left side. So we just start to tuck the chin, release the heaviness of the body. And again, just kind of go into the space that feels nice. And then we start to take it a little bit deeper, maybe walk those fingertips a little further. Always feel free to use the blocks if you want a little extra height, a little extra reach. Good. We'll start to inhale, press the hands, floating our way through the center space. If you do have the blocks, just bring them with you. And again, we slowly start to tuck the chin, release the head. Just allowing ourselves to arrive tonight, relaxing the eyebrows, releasing the jaw and the facial muscles. Just bringing awareness to the crown of the head. Starting to tune into the ears, the temples. If it feels comfortable in this space to even open up the mouth, release the tongue. And then gently bring the lips back together. As we press the hands, we'll gently walk our way back into center space. So just finding your way, other options using blocks to rest the forehead. Or if you'd prefer, the blocks underneath the elbows. With the palms facing the floor, I'll be offering adjustments today during our practice. If you prefer not to receive touch, feel free to place those palms facing the ceiling. So I know to give you some space. And you can always change your mind. Just let me know as I approach. More pressure, less pressure, no pressure. And as we slowly start to press the palms, let's restack the spine. We'll find ourselves seated. And let's just reach back for that blanket that's behind. So we'll start to stack the hips on the blanket. You can fold it any height you want. I might go a little higher. So we're just kind of lifting the hips, the body weight above the knees. And then find a space that feels comfortable. Options are to also just use the blocks. If you want a little bit of support, if you're hanging, legs can extend, legs can be bent, just depending on what you're dealing with in your spine or your hips or your knees. So find a space that feels comfortable so we can begin to relax, relaxing the eyes, stacking the spine, retracting the chin. Imagine strings and cables pulling us towards the ceiling in the front of the room. As we inhale, we'll lift the shoulders towards the ears, squeeze into that space. Exhale, release the shoulders, open the heart. And inhale, lifting, exhale, releasing. As we inhale, we'll fill the belly, so allow it to hang out. As we exhale, we draw the navel into the spine, so think about contracting, knitting the core. Really subtle movements, but bring that awareness again into these spaces. We tune in to be more aware so we can better listen to ourselves. Take the breathers that we need, or maybe go deeper if it feels good. Inhale, lifting, exhale, releasing. As we lift again, we'll squeeze the shoulders into ears. Big inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, let's roll those shoulders forward. We'll drop the head at the same time. And then inhale, lift and lengthen, tall in the spine. And then roll it forward, kind of bringing the upper body into it. Inhale, lift, exhale, release. Good. Inhale and exhale. As we take a pause, we'll just stack the spine. We'll start to lift the eyes towards the ceiling, open up the front of the throat. And then exhale, release the chin, heavy in the head. Inhale, we'll lift and lengthen. Exhale, slow release. Inhale, opening. Exhale. As we release this time, we feel nice and heavy. Let's start to inhale over to right shoulder. Take a breather. Exhale, sweep the head over through the center line to opposite side. Nice big inhale. So we focus on the side of the neck, opening. Exhale, releasing, floating. Inhale, open. Exhale, release. Just one more round on each side. Take your time. There's never any quick fix. We have to put the time in. We have to slow down and tune in. And as you're ready, we gently come through center. Let's lift and stack again. On the inhale, eyes move around the right shoulder. We just think about looking as deep and far as we can. Inhale, and then slowly exhale. Let's unwind ourselves over to opposite. Inhale, filling belly. Exhale, sweeping. Good. Let's go one more round. Take your time. We might go a little deeper each round by pushing the hands into the legs, lifting nice and tall. And again, we'll slowly release. We'll just come through center space. We're going to drop the right ear to right shoulder. And just take 2 deep breaths, noticing this left side of the neck. Notice the shoulder space. Notice the spine if you're maybe tucking forward or you're hyperextending, opening. Kind of bringing it back to that center neutral space always. As we exhale, we're going to stay here. Just start to tip and peek the chin into the shoulder, the armpit. And then same side fingers reach around to clasp onto back of head, just giving yourself a little deeper space. And again, if you ever feel you've gone too deep, you can always just let it out. Never feel stuck in any of these places. Inhale, fill that belly. Exhale, drawing it in. Keep priming the breath as we're still. Inhale, let's fill, lengthen, lift. Through the center space, we unwind. And first, it's just the ear finding shoulder. Allow those arms to really rest and just hang. Another deep inhale. As we exhale, let's engage. We start to tuck the chin into the armpit space. Same side fingers reach around. We just grab onto where it feels comfortable. Think about driving the chin deeper into this chest space, the shoulder space. All of that focus is on the side body. We might even kind of wrap this arm around just to open even deeper. See what feels good. If it's too much, don't go there. Another deep inhale. As we exhale, let's just unwind, lift ourselves, restack the spine. As we inhale, eyes will open, we'll sweep our fingertips, we'll gaze towards the ceiling. Exhale, palms find each other, releasing into the heart space. Bow the head. Again, let's sweep around as if we're painting along the ceiling. Spread the fingers, the palms. Hands find each other, releasing to heart center. And from this space, we're going to send both arms over to right side. We kind of just wrap ourselves around the hips, again, kind of moving in that space of looking deep towards the right side. Inhale, let's release the arms, just float them along, making your way. There's no right way, just go into what feels good always. Another deep inhale, lifting, lengthening, exhale, twisting, and we'll gently unwind ourselves. So as we're lifted onto blankets, we'll just take a moment to kind of send that behind. We can reconnect to the sit bones, the floor. We'll spread the fleshy parts of the sit bones. Will start to extend into the legs. Let's just point and flex a few times. As we inhale, we'll sweep around again. Palms find the heart, and we start to just tip forward. So just kind of go to where you feel the tension. It might not be very far, and that's okay. So then we start to release the shoulders from the ears, start to open the heart again. We'll think about a flat back. So if you're in this space, let's just unwind a little bit. And then we feel lots of tension in the hamstrings. We notice the strength in the low back. And then from this place, let's start to curve and fall into the legs. So always feel free to bend into the knees. You can use the blocks, of course, for support. Just remember, go into those comfort spaces. Tonight is all about just taking care of ourselves, tuning in and going slow. As we inhale, let's roll the spine. We'll start to lift and lengthen. So the hands will come behind the hips this time. The feet will be hip width, fingers nice and spread. As we inhale, fill belly. As we exhale, squeeze, engage the glutes. We'll just slowly lift those hips, open the shoulders, gaze towards the ceiling. Big inhale, and then slowly, slowly exhale when you're ready. Hips find the floor, extending again. So let's just go back into that space. So nice tall spine, shoulders down. Let's sweep the arms around, palms release into the heart, and we kind of tip into a flat back. So again, it might not be very far, stay nice and tall. And then when you're ready, we curve into this place and start to just sink in, maybe bending into the knees, grabbing onto ankles and toes. Another inhale, we'll slowly start to lift. Let's bend the knees, feet hip width again. Palms come behind. We'll stack the wrists underneath shoulders. Exhale, press through the heels. Engage those glutes. Lift and tuck the pelvis. And as you're ready, slow release the hips again. Find the floor. And we're going to slowly reach for our yoga strap. So I think you should have one close by. So we're going to slowly start to wrap around the tippy toes, pointing and flexing just a few times. So that same sensation of forward folding. So this time we start to peel the heels up, lift kneecaps, engage thighs, roll shoulders, stack spine. So we're kind of this nice L shape. And then as you're ready, let's tip again. So we'll first start with that flat back, and then we can release heels, start to walk the body down, curve into it. Just find that space that feels really nice to sink. We're just going to take a few breaths. A little pressure on the upper back. Just keep inhaling and exhaling, using the breath. A couple more cycles of breath, in through nose, out through mouth. And as we start to lift and lengthen, we can release the band slightly. We're just going to place the band, just the edges on the side. We'll keep it tucked around the toes. And then we'll start to bend again into the heels. We'll just bring those palms back. And again, lifting those hips. And then slow release. This time we're going to slowly just bring our knees into the heart center. Heels will be hip width. We're going to roll the shoulders. And then bring the tippy toes to the floor. So we can slowly start to find a little bit of balance. So it actually might feel better to have the fingers underneath the knees, rolling those shoulders, just finding that balance. Remember that nice flat spine, nice tall spine, wake up those elbows. So we can gently start to lift one or two, pointing and flexing. And as we cross those ankles, release the feet, palms come down, let's just stack into the arms. And then gently release again. Doesn't matter how high you go, just go into those spaces so we build the strength. We keep working on it every day. We get stronger. We become more confident. We get to know ourselves even better. Exhale, release those feet, press into palms, lift and lengthen. And then as we exhale, we'll start to scooch towards the top of the mat. We'll slowly grab into those knees. And if it's comfortable, start to release back into your rock and roll. So between the hips and the shoulders, just kind of taking your time, massaging the left and the right. See what's there. And then we're just going to gently release the spine. Let's draw those knees into the heart. Nice deep breaths. Again, relax those eyebrows. Relaxing any tension in the jaw. If it feels okay, release the tongue just for a moment. Really squeezing, opening the face, and then gently relaxing again into the lips, and just placing the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Keep bringing the breath in. As we exhale, allow those knees to splay out to the side. So we start to rotate into the ankles and the toes. Think about tucking the shoulders underneath, relaxing, melting shoulders into the ground. Bringing all that awareness into the inner thighs, the hamstrings, lengthening. And exhale, let's draw the knees together. Inhale, let's push them out, and then exhale, draw them back. So it's this stirring sensation, pulling in, sending out, opening, closing, and then keep focusing on that breath. The inhalation through nose, exhale, release through the mouth. Good. Find that rhythm, find that tempo. And then we'll start to find some stillness. We're going to actually reach to the side again to grab our yoga strap. I think it's nearby for you guys. So we'll, again, wrap around the toes. And then we'll just make sure that that metal part is to the side so it doesn't hit us in the face. So we start to point and flex into those toes. We might start to just, with straight legs, start to pull the toes a little bit closer towards the forehead. Just see what's available. You can always, if that's painful on the low back, come into this knee bent space and pull in, or even just drop the heels into the groin, come into your butterfly. Tuck the shoulders, and again, really tall with the spine, maybe a side to side rocking to release into the low back, the psoas. Just noticing the tailbone, the pelvic floor. Relaxing eyebrows. As we exhale, send those heels towards the ceiling. We'll start to release just the right leg to the floor and just giving it a few shakes, make sure that it knows to let go. We can start to point and flex just this left side. And with control, we'll gently start to guide the left leg out to left side. Feel free to bend into the knee. So we start to send it around. And just doing our best to keep the arms nice and straight so that the upper body can relax. If we're here kind of holding, we're just creating more tension. So elongate these levers, grab a little closer to the toes, and then we reach and release the right arm to the right side. We'll just gaze towards the fingertips, involve the cervical spine in this twist, and then coming back to that breath pattern, always inhaling and exhaling. Slowing down the breath. Again, noticing the body, noticing the mind. Another deep inhale will fill the belly space. Let's bend slightly into that left leg. We'll grab a hold of our yoga strap. Let's send it across the body over to this opposite side. So we'll release the leg to the floor. So feel free to explore this side. If it feels comfortable, we can kind of pedal into this space, using the strap to guide us, but just creating a little bit more awareness, finding a little bit more room to go into the deep spaces. Readjust the hand grip so your arm is nice and straight. Just conserve that energy the best you can. Releasing the left arm out to left side and just gazing at the fingertips. Think about relaxing the shoulders, the jaw. And use those exhales to get out of the mind and into the body tonight. Filling the belly as we inhale, slowly exhale, releasing. Sending that breath from the mouth through the body. Just imagine it moving into these spaces of pain and tightness and fatigue. Maybe we have an injury that we're working with. So we always bring a little bit more awareness to those spaces. Make sure that they do feel supported and grounded in our practice. Let's hang out for another deep inhale. We fill the belly space. Let's exhale, engage the core center. Root through the right side hip. We're going to bend the left knee and sweep ourselves back through center. The backs of those hips plug into the earth. The toes find each other inside the band. And let's just release that left leg. We'll readjust the arm grip. Just make sure that metal space, that metal part of the band is in a good spot. So we gently allow the leg to fall. Feel free to start with that bent knee. So out to right side to start. And it might feel nice to kind of explore before we find too much stillness. So we kind of see what's there tonight. As we move a little deeper, more tension might be revealed. We might just be releasing some of that stress in the hips. And whenever you're ready, just find that stillness. Readjust the hand grip. The arm is nice and long. And we slowly release. Good, I love that you're using the block, actually. If you need some support and you're not finding the floor, options to use the blocks is always there. So you can kind of rest yourself. Need it. Let's take another deep inhale. We'll slowly bend into the right knee and then we'll sweep our way over. So again, use both hands. We're going to gently bend into that right knee and then tip across the center line of the body. So again, we can explore this side, guiding the leg, reaching through the heels, and just finding your space. When you're ready, find the stillness. We release the right arm, we'll gaze towards the right fingers. And then we always reset. We bring awareness to crown of head, relax the eyebrows, releasing into the jaw, repriming that breath. Inhale through nose, exhale, release. And then we bring the awareness into this right side hip, low back. And we make as much room as we can to unwind and let go. Inhale, filling, exhale, releasing. Just remembering that there's nowhere else to be. We're here in our yoga practice, giving ourselves this beautiful gift of self-care, of slow, mindful movement. So just allow yourself to enjoy it. Take the time. Inhale, fill belly, exhale, engaging through belly center. We'll sweep our way back. And again, we'll just draw those toes together. Let's release the knees out to the sides. The heels come into the groin. And we just readjust the hand grip so we have a nice tight grip. And then from this space, let's hang out. We start to find the breath again. Maybe shimmying the hips side to side. When you're ready, we'll take the band, we'll just place it to the side. And we'll just gently allow the knees to both fall over to the right side. We'll bring the palms into a nice, tall, extended T space. So knees can be bent, they can be straight, whatever feels good. Another inhale, we'll fill belly. Let's press the palms one knee at a time. We'll just start to make our way to other side. So I like to use the hands to kind of press in, relax the shoulders, and guide my body over into this space. Big inhale, big exhale. Knees bent, knees straight. Just do what feels best in your body. As we inhale, let's press through palms. We engage the core center. Help ourselves get back into this center space. And then let's keep going over to right side. We're going to tip all the way over. The hands find floor, knees find floor. And we start to just find the seated space again. We can reach back for our yoga blanket to root once again. We'll just find our spine. Just a few breaths in this space. We'll sweep it around. Exhale, releasing. As we begin to press the palms together, we'll bring awareness to the pelvic floor and this Mula Bandha space. So as we exhale, we'll press the palms and we'll start to engage into this space. Imagine you're lifting up from the pelvis into the belly. And then as we inhale, we're just going to reach the arms, open the heart towards the ceiling. Exhale, let's draw it back, stack the spine, press into the hands, relax those shoulders, and then bind into the body. Inhale, let's release, we'll open. Exhale, let's bring it back. Inhale, open. So we have a few more rounds. As we are in this space, let's start to think about an intention for our practice. Just inviting anything in that feels good in your mind. Keep it simple, keep it easy. It can be a word, a phrase, a color. Our intentions are so powerful. Think about one to focus on. As the mind starts to wander, we use this to come back into this space. Okay, keep opening and closing. Then as we exhale, we'll start to roll onto our knees. We'll find the hands on the floor, and we'll start to move into our tabletop. So the knees are hip width apart, the wrists are underneath the shoulders. We'll spread the fingers nice and wide. And we start to drop the belly, lift the tailbone. We think about opening the heart, eyes find the ceiling. As we exhale, tuck the chin, start to lift into the spine, release the tailbone. Inhale, opening and lifting. Good, and just find a rhythm that feels nice. You can always go faster, slower than me. I just encourage you to be mindful in this space. Close the eyes even to really feel into the body. Practice listening again. Listen to where those edges are, when you push too far, when you have more room to push. We get super familiar with it. We can take it with us into our life, into our work, our relationships, our communication. As we come through the center space, just take your time getting there. We'll start to peek over right side, allow the hips to fall, and then peek over the opposite side. So side to side rocking, opening and closing. So if the wrists become fatigued, you can always come onto the fists, even onto elbows. Just make this work for you. We're all going to look a little different, so just do you. Make sure you're happy and healthy in your practice. We can keep practicing this yoga almost every day of our lives. It's so low impact, and it's so beneficial to our health. Whether we have injury or not, we can make it work. We just modify and do what we can. As we find some stillness, we'll find that tabletop again. Roll the shoulders back, nice flat back. Inhale, left knee comes to center, the right palm starts to stack, and then we'll slowly start to tuck. Bow into the knee. Inhale, we'll reach and lengthen through fingers and toes. Exhale, pull it in. Good. Inhale, lift and lengthen. So same thing here. Keep moving, but if the arm or the shoulder or the wrist become fatigued, feel free to come onto some blocks. Bend into the elbow space. I have a shoulder wrist injury now, so I'm having to get really creative with how I'm using my body, and it's so important. We just need to take care of ourselves every day. Inhale, reach. Exhale, tuck. We start to slow it down. Let's bring the toes together, knees nice and wide. We'll just release the hips onto heels, release the forehead, and take a few nice deep breaths. A little pressure on the low back. to adjust your neck if you need to. Just a little pressure on the low back. Let me know if it's too much. And keep breathing. As we start to lift those hips, we'll roll the weight onto the knees and we'll start to come back into our tabletop. Let's head over to the opposite knee. So we'll start to root I think it's the right side this time. Oh no, the left side. Whichever was your opposite. Is it right side or left? I forget. I think it's right knee. Yeah, the right side, good. So we'll just start to reach, fingers, toes, and then start to tuck. Yeah, because I use the blocks on this side, good. So we inhale, we exhale, inhale, and exhale. So again, take your time, tune it in, use that breath, remember that intention, your mantra. And as we move into the physical body, we also just watch the mind. We notice the traffic moving in and out of the thoughts. We do our best to let go of any conversations in our head. We can even think of that intention, that mantra. I am inhaling, I am exhaling. And as we start to slow down, we'll take a moment. We'll just start to bring those knees nice and wide again. The toes find each other, and we'll sit down into our child's pose, releasing the forehead to the floor. Just taking a few moments. Good. So from this space, we'll roll through the spine. We'll start to shift more weight into wrists, and we begin to bring the knees together. Let's tuck the toes. So we start to shift forward and back. Spread the fingers, release those heels. If it feels comfortable, we can even just push those knees off. And then again, roll the shoulders, just finding some movement. So again, this doesn't have to look like knees lift. You can just move into the heel space. And then as you're ready, we'll flip the palms upside down. And same thing, just moving, shifting that weight from the toes, the heels, into the wrists and the knees. And sometimes you'll find that one wrist is a little bit more flexible than the other, so just take your time. Sometimes this can be really painful, so go slow, see what's there. Try not to push into too deep of spaces. That will cause any pain. As we inhale, we'll shift the weight back. We'll start to just find some balance on the toes. We'll sweep around, gaze towards the ceiling, palms find each other, releasing to the heart. And again, we'll lift and open. This time, releasing just the elbows. We'll make lots of space between the shoulders and the ears. And then we start to drop into our rotators. So we'll lift and lengthen. Exhale, release and tuck. So if the feet get tired, you can always untuck. Try to stay on there a little bit longer, though. Open, open, open. Our feet really never get to be in this space. Releasing the arches, the calves, the Achilles. And then as we release one more round, we'll start to lift and lengthen. Let's reach for the ceiling. We're going to reach side to side as if we're kind of climbing this imaginary rope, opening the side body, clasping on. Allow the side of the neck to also fall. Relax eyebrows and jaw. Just move into this side to side space. Be mindful of the low back if you feel like you're reaching too far. Make it a little smaller. And then as we find stillness, we'll bring those palms to heart. Let's roll it forward again. We'll begin to start tucking, I guess our toes are already tucked. We'll keep them tucked. Let's reach the heels and lift the hips. Good. And then we'll side to side rock. Let's walk through those feet. We'll pedal and sway. Inhale, exhale. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Think about the palms touching the entire floor. So if the palms are kind of teepeed up, push those down. Good. And press deeper into thumbs and pointer fingers. Relax the shoulders. Shoulder blades are nice and flat. And then as we find stillness, feet hip width apart, we're going to lift and engage both legs. Lift the kneecaps, engage both thighs. As we inhale, reach the heart closer to the knees, the crown of the head closer to the floor. And then from this space, we're just lifting onto tippy toes. So engage the thighs, lift high, exhale, heels drop. Inhale, lift up. So the body really stays the same. We're just lifting into the leg space. Exhale, release. Inhale. Good, exhale. As we lift one more time here, let's stay on to tippy toes. We just start to bend the knees and then straighten up the legs. So it kind of looks like this crouching and then straightening up. So option to come onto the elbows if the wrists are tired or fatigued. We're just warming up those legs, releasing. Good. And we'll come back. Let's start to release the knees. We'll untuck the toes. Come into a small child's pose just for a breath. Fill the belly. Exhale, slowly lift out of your spine. Let's bring the knees nice and wide, toes together again. And we start to bend into the elbows as we send the hips forward. So really squeeze into the glutes to protect the low back. Try not to just dump into that space. Engage the legs, open the heart, roll the shoulders. Exhale, roll it back, press through the palms, come through your child's. Inhale, roll through your cat, send it forward again, engage the glutes, stay nice and strong in the low back as we open the front hip flexors. Exhale, push it back. And we just have 2 more rounds. Think about lifting towards the ceiling as high as you can, bend into elbows, open on up. Exhale, press. Just 1 more round, rolling the spine. Taking the time, and then exhale, release back. Good, inhale, we'll roll through cat spine, knees come together, and we start to again just reach out through the right leg, and then the left leg, so we find a high plank. And then from here, roll the spine, press up to your down dog. We'll pedal just a few times to walk those feet hip width. On the inhale, eyes will find the fingertips. We're going to lift the left arm to center and then reach the right underneath. So you can connect anywhere, maybe the ankle, the pant leg, the knee, and think about twisting under. So this can also look like a twist on the floor like this. If the wrists and the legs are fatigued, or even onto the elbow, you can modify this so it works for your practice. And then as we exhale, let's release the right elbow to floor. Let's just reach. We'll walk the right elbow back a little so you're more stacked underneath the shoulder. Good. Press the palms away to lift the hips and then reach underneath. Yeah. Good. Keep reaching through the heels. Really nice. 1 more breath. Exhale, slow release, unwind, drop those knees. Palms are nice and wide, untuck toes. We're going to send the hips forward. Let's just release the body onto the floor. We're going to zip up the legs and then bring those palms nice and wide. The chin or the forehead can rest. And we'll start to bend into the knees. Think about tucking the pelvis to lengthen the spine. And then we'll slowly start to send knees over to left side, over to right side. So just windshield wiping. Good, slow release of the low back. Good, we'll take a pause in center. So we're going to slowly, let's just release the right leg. We're going to press into palms. We're going to send this left leg across the backside. So I like to just push deep into the hands. So the knee can be bent, it can be straight, it can even just be hovering in the air, or maybe connecting. God, we bring lots of awareness into this left side body. Inhale, fill, relax the eyebrows. Exhale, let's press through palms. We'll slowly reconnect those hips. Let's head over to opposite sides. So the right will bend and we'll send it around. And just go to where it feels comfortable. Relaxing and feeling this deep opening in the right side body. If you notice that you're holding the breath, just come back to those exhales. The inhale will always follow. Focus on the exhale, that out breath, engaging the belly. Inhale, filling, nourishing the body. And then exhale, releasing the stress, the worry, the toxins. Inhale, let's fill. We'll slowly come back. We'll reconnect those hips. We'll glue the chin to the floor. On the inhale, we're going to shimmy the legs together, zip up the thighs. The hands come to sides of rib cage and chest. We're going to roll the shoulders, drop the elbows, squeeze deep into the rib cage. And then let's power up the backside, tuck the pelvis. We're going to slowly lift through the crown and lift into our cobra. And then slow release, come back down. So we're going to come in and out a bunch of times, so take your time. Lifting, lengthening through the crown. Exhale, release. So each time we lift, we might come a little bit higher, see what's available. If there's any sharp, pinchy pain, you've gone too far, likely. If it's that dull, achy pain, that's the good pain we want. We know we're building the muscle, working our bodies, rolling the shoulders, lifting, lengthening. As we exhale, let's just drop one ear to the floor, and then whichever shoulder you're facing towards, we're going to reach back with that hand, kick that same side heel, and we're going to connect where we can to either the foot, the pant leg maybe. We can even use a yoga strap. Good. And then we think about kind of pressing the hips into the floor and just enjoying this nice stretch. Just a little pressure. Let me know if it's too much. Good. Keep using the breath. And I'm just going to put a little pressure on your shin. Think about kind of peeling the knee. Good. As we inhale, we'll release this leg. Let's look over the opposite shoulder. And then we're going to reach back to connect to this side. Just take your time. Good. Relaxing upper body. Just a little pressure on the hips. A little pressure on the shin. Think about pressing this hip into the floor. Good. We're just going to lift into the knee a little bit, open the front side. Good. Slow exhale. We'll just gently release this left side. Inhale, palms will come back to the heart center. We'll slowly start to reverse that push-up. So we'll roll the shoulders. We'll keep those knees onto the floor. But again, we'll start to tuck the toes and we'll lift back into our home base. Just take a couple releases of the spine. Good. On the inhale, let's root through the left foot. We'll power up that left leg. Inhale, the right leg lifts towards the ceiling. We're going to open the right hip to side. We'll drop the heel, kickstand the leg. And then we just hang for a moment. Again, if the arms are tired, come on down to the elbows. If you want to stay on the arms, just keep reaching the heart towards the floor. Good. And then from this space, we're going to stay here. We're just rolling into this right side of the hip. Here, sorry, I'll show you. You can see me from behind. So it's this rolling of the hip this way. Opening and closing as if we have a paintbrush on the edge, the tip of the knee. We're opening and closing. And then same side, let's roll it around. Keep the weight in the shoulders, in the elbows, in the wrists. Good, nice and slow. And let's glue up those toes. We'll shift the weight to right leg. Let's inhale the left. And then bend and kickstand the knee. And then we'll slowly roll it. Opening and closing. Just a few more. So same leg, just opposite direction. Paint that knee around. Open and close the pelvis. I know there's a little heat in those arms, so just hang in there. We're going to come down in a second. Good. One more roll. Exhale, knees find the floor, nice and wide, sit back, find your child's pose. As we roll through our cat spine, we'll come back onto knees and hands. We'll slowly tuck our toes. We're going to lift those hips. Find your down dog. Shift the weight into left foot. Inhale the right. The right knee starts to sweep forward. We come into a forward lunge. So take your time. Maybe it's one sweep. Maybe you're coming down to the knee and taking a few steps in. Good. And then we're just going to find this space where we can open the left side. Let's untuck the toe and bring the palms to the inside. And then options actually to have the blocks. Might be nice in this one. There you go. You can choose what height you want if you want it to be flat. So we can stay on the hands, or we can stay, or excuse me, release onto the elbows. Coming just a little bit deeper. If you are going deeper, we just think about walking this right ankle out a little bit towards the, I know you're already on the edge of the mat. Good. Nice. And then can I make one adjustment? Is your knee okay here? Yeah, okay, good. And then can you go a little bit this way? Yeah, good. So just kind of squaring it up with your hip. And if it feels okay, we can just open this knee, even rolling the ankle onto the pinky side if it's available. Maybe try it. If it doesn't feel good, come out. Good. So we release into the space. We might side to side rock a few times, releasing the back of the neck, using the breath. And as we find some stillness, we'll inhale, lift through the spine. As we keep this left elbow on, we'll lift the right hand, connect to the inside of that knee. Just press it out. Maybe look towards the ceiling. If you've gone too deep, just come back out and hang out to where it does feel good. Exhale, let's slow release. Let's plug the foot back in. We're going to walk it in so it's underneath the knee. And then we're going to power up backside, lift through the torso, hands find top of knee. So we might even move the block so it feels nice and stacked. And then we'll slowly start to lift and lengthen. Exhale, let's drive it forward. Inhale, lift, roll the shoulders. Exhale, forward. Inhale, we'll lift through the fingertips. Exhale, we'll release. Just moving in those deepest spaces, opening the heart, folding it in. Good. So from this space, we're going to fold forward or drive forward into the leg. Let's bring one block to the inside of the foot. And you can kind of stack that hand underneath shoulder. Just keep engaging through the glutes to protect us as we start to sweep around. We're kind of lifting out of the hips as the fingertips find the ceiling. Good. And then just find one spot to focus on. If the neck gets tired, bring the eyes down. Again, just always be mindful to protect and be aware of the body. Exhale, slow release. We'll just gently unwind. So this right hand's going to come inside this time, and we're going to slowly open up to this side. Good, big inhale. Big exhale, slow release. Let's find the hands on the floor. We'll send weight back into this knee. Sweep the legs around. We'll tuck our toes. Good, take your time. And the palms spread again. We'll slowly press and come back to our down dog. Yeah, take a minute in child's pose if you need it. And then we'll switch over to opposite side. The right leg will root. Yep. We'll sweep it up and then sweep it forward. Take a few steps, drop the back knee. Just kind of walk yourself into place. And then we want that back knee, sometimes it tucks in. We want it to be kind of out in line with the hip. Yeah, good. And then just like you're doing, kind of walking that, that left foot out to edge of mat. Maybe we use those blocks again. And we can slowly release into that space. Side to side rocking if that feels okay. Just kind of exploring. Good, rotating into that left ankle. Really nice. Using that breath, keep priming and bringing that focus back. Bringing that awareness into your practice. We're going to slowly take a pause, find the stillness. Let's root that left foot back into floor. We'll kind of inch it back just a little bit, and then we'll send more weight into right elbow. Let's open on up towards this left side. And then let's actually move the right elbow to the floor, and then we'll open up over to this side so we can feel more of a spinal twist. Good. Think about powering through the glutes to protect the low back. Exhale, release. And then we start to lift the hands. We're going to slowly lift the hands to top of knee, and we'll gently lift, opening and closing. As you're ready, sweeping the arms. Exhale, releasing down. Opening and rolling. Exhale. Inhale, fill. Exhale, release. Inhale, open. Good. Exhale, release. So from here, palms find top of knee. We're just going to take a pause. Let's start to tuck the back toe, and we're going to power up through our high crescent. Let's sweep the fingertips towards the ceiling, and then we'll straighten up the front leg. And then let's slowly start to just bend into the back leg so we can kind of pop ourselves forward. We're probably a little too wide. Good. And then we'll slowly drop that right heel, open up arms into your T position. And feel free to bring this foot a little further forward. Good, yeah. And then the weight's kind of in the heels will open up. And then from here, we're going to slowly start to release the hands to hips, nice and tall through the spine, open the heart, and then tip from the hips, send the hips back, and then tip forward. And then we may even release hands onto blocks and see how that feels. Good. Release the back of the neck. Let's start to shift some weight into the tippy toes and then back into the heels. I'm just going to play with the weight here. And then we'll start to bend and straighten into the knees. See if that feels okay. If it feels too wide, always heel toe yourself back in. And if it's better for your back, you can have it nice and straight depending on what you're dealing with at home. And then we'll slowly release the spine again. We'll kind of push the blocks away for a moment. I'm going to go a little wider, and then wrapping the fingertips around the edges of the feet or even the ankles. So we start to lift and lengthen, tall spine. Exhale, pull yourself down. Wake up those elbows, come into your cactus. Lift the kneecaps so you're not just falling. We'll go into that space soon, but feel that kind of stronger, contracted space. And then exhale, palms find the floor again. We'll slowly drop the hips, bend the knees. I'm going to use my hands, just shifting weight side to side. So you can always use those blocks too. That might actually feel nice. You can shift between opening, closing. Good, we'll lift those hips. We'll release one more time. Let's lift back to center. Inhale, half lift, fingertips on floor, nice flat back. Lift onto the kneecaps, engage the thighs, palms come to hips. We'll roll the shoulders, and then gently lift yourself. Press through the edges of the feet, tuck the pelvis. Let's bend into the knees, and we're just gonna slowly pop ourselves together. Good, and we find ourselves top of mat, feet hip width apart. Inhaling, sweeping overhead. Exhale, we'll forward fold, slight bend in the knees. And then from here, inhale, just half lift, nice flat back. We're going to stay here, bend into knees, release again, just kind of opening and closing a few times. Exhale, inhale, good, exhale. Inhale, half lift. One more exhale. Let's hang out here with that flat spine. We're just going to lift the arms into the T space and then reach the hands behind the hips. If it's available, fingertips can interlace, or we can even just grab our wrists, or even fists can touch each other. Yeah. If it's available, lifting the arms. If it's too much, just think about rolling the shoulders back. And then we'll slowly start to fold forward here with the fingertips still connected. Good. Slight bend in the knees. Let's start to pulse in and out of that low squat again. Yeah. And then as we start to straighten the legs, we'll lift again halfway, nice flat back. Let's just let go of the arms. Forward folding again. Let's let go of the low back. Feet hip width apart. We'll wrap the fingers around the elbows, and we start to sway side to side. Take an inhale on each side. You can grab onto elbows You can grab onto shins, allow arms to sway, go into spaces that feel really nice. Let's take a pause. Left palm finds floor, bend into left knee. Sweep this right arm over, peek towards the fingertips. Big inhale, maybe rotate into the wrist. Exhale, slow release, bend into knees, opposite side. Really bend into right knee, and then sweep it around. Stacking shoulders, rotating the wrist. Exhale, slow release. We're just going to keep going. Nice low squat. So we'll just start to drop the hips. Good. And then if this is available, we can start to kind of hang out in this space if it feels okay. So I like to, it's hard not to look at you. I'm like, okay, this is better. So kind of, yeah, walking side to side, like opening. And then I like to even push the elbows into the knees. Kind of shifting. And then if it's available, we can just walk a little closer, see what's there. And then start to just roll the shoulders as if we're kind of just sitting. Good. Big opening underneath the feet. Really nice. And then let's slowly release. We're just going to sit back. And then with the knees and the heart. Good. We're going to roll into the spine. So let's come into that rock and roll again, side to side. Forward and back, massaging the sides. Good. As you're ready, one more roll, and then we'll release completely to the floor. Let's draw the knees in. We'll give ourselves a nice kind of rolling of the hips, pushing the knees away, drawing them back. And we'll take a pause. We'll start to drop the knees into shoulders. Let's reach for the base of those feet, and we come into this happy baby. So side to side rocking, just massaging, using that breath. And then big exhale, we'll slow release the heels, hip width apart. Let's tuck the shoulders under. Release the shoulders from those ears. The heels will be hip width apart. Good. I'm going to bring these a little bit more narrow. Yeah, like here. Good. And then from here, think about engage the glutes, tuck the pelvis, and start to lift the hips. Press through those heels. The whole foot finds the floor still. Yeah. Big inhale, and then slowly release. Connect the spine. Good. Take your time. Relaxing, melting shoulders. Good. Releasing those eyebrows. Good. Keep going through. Just a few more lifts. Just feel the spine gently connecting and then peeling off one vertebrae at a time with control, with grace, with breath. And as we start to release those hips, we'll take a big inhale. Let's exhale. We'll come back in one more time. Engage the glutes, lift those hips towards ceiling. Lots of length behind the neck. We're just going to stay here for a moment. We'll roll the shoulders under, interlace those fingers, and we start to lift the hips even higher. Remember to open the front of the neck so you can keep breathing. Slowly walk the right foot into center line. We're going to shift weight over to right side and start to lift into the left leg. Good. Does that feel okay? And then we'll slowly release the left heel. Shift that weight over to the opposite. Let's just go for one breath. See how that feels in that. Yeah, good. Point and flex. Slow release. Let's untuck the shoulders. We'll reconnect the spine. Let's draw the knees in. Nice big hug. Good. Using that breath, calming down the mind. And as we slowly release the legs, we'll start to move into our final resting posture, our shavasana. We'll untuck the shoulders, the palms will lie flat, facing the ceiling. We start to tune back into breath. And I'll just be offering some pillows and blankets so we can release and unwind for a few moments at the end of our practice. Lengthen your neck. As we gently become aware of our breath, we take a few intentional, deep, long inhalations and exhalations. We might start to even count the breath as we inhale, and then slowly exhale for the same count. Bringing awareness and breath through the entire body, feeling heavy and supported and grounded tonight. On our next out breath, we begin to exhale, releasing. We start to bring awareness to fingers and toes, maybe even rotating wrists and ankles. Bringing ourselves back to our yoga space. We'll take a moment here just to reach the arms overhead, full body stretch through fingers, through toes. And then exhaling, releasing the palms once again. And just taking a moment to roll onto one side. Whichever side is calling you, feel free to just roll and hang. You can support the head on the arm. You just slowly start to transition. And whenever you're ready, start to press those palms away. Start to lift and stack the spine. We'll come back into seated posture. Whatever feels comfortable tonight. We'll start to just roll the shoulders a few times. Coming back into the body. Inhale, lifting, filling. Exhale, releasing. And as we drop the shoulders one last time, we'll sweep the arms around the room. We'll just collect all the energy we've created tonight. Exhale, palms find each other, release to the heart. Let's take a moment to close the eyes, just to acknowledge this practice, to acknowledge the courage it took to show up today, this time of healing and self-care. And always coming back to this breath pattern, knowing that we can bring it with us in times of stress, anxiety. We just tune back into inhaling through nose, exhale, releasing breath through mouth. And as we begin to close our practice, we'll lift the hands to the forehead. And as we bow to each other, namaste. Thank you so much for practicing. That was wonderful. We'll take your time getting up. I think we might have some tea. I hope that was a nice remedy for your snowboarding trip.
So nice.
So good. Nice to just go slow, oh my gosh. Do you ever take Epsom salt baths? Epsom salt baths? Do you like baths or? Okay.